The following is a presentation of the PAC Sports Network.
Welcome into Grove City College. I'm Rob McKinney. Alongside me is Coach Lori Wynn. She did coach the Geneva Golden Tornadoes. This was her last year. She is now moving on to bigger and better things on different endeavors, and we welcome you into the broadcast for the first time.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here tonight.
Well, we're definitely excited to have you, and we have a pretty exciting matchup ahead. The Grove City Wolverines taking on the Westminster Titans. Grove City number 3 in the PAC tournament. Westminster number 6. The winner of this game will take on W&J, but we'll get to that much later on as we need to set up this one here in our pregame. The Grove City Wolverines come into this one 15-10 overall. The Westminster Titans come in with a record of 9-17, and they're one of the bottom dwellers in the PAC, but they had a big win in the first round of the tournament against Waynesburg. They won 88-80, and the Grove City Wolverines did have a bye week in that first round, and that's why they're at home here against the Westminster Titans. And both these teams, a little bit different formula. You have the Grove City Wolverines, who are one of the bottom dwellers in the PAC in scoring offense, but first in the PAC in scoring defense, so scoring at a forefront, not only for this team, but for their men's team as well, but we'll get to them at a different time. We don't need to talk about them right now, but they have a lot of really elite scores on both these teams, one of which for Grove City being Kate Balcom. She averages about 13 points per game, closer to 14, and she can really do it all, and she's fantastic driving the paint, despite her shorter stature at 5'6".
Yeah, she does a really great job of putting the ball on the floor and getting inside, and she makes a lot of those hustle plays and grabs rebounds and just does a lot of the little things that don't always get noticed besides scoring.
And as a coach, I mean, I'm sure you like that, a player that can dish out the ball well, who just hustles and is able to get back defensively, has a complete game, which is what I think we see from Kate Balcom. And another standout for Grove City, Jess Bowen. She has about 12.4 points per game. And on the flip side for the Westminster Titans, keep an eye on Emily Fromneck. She's fantastic using her size, standing at about 6'6". She'll be between the blocks for the Titans. She averages about 11 points per game. And also keep an eye on Kayla Bennett and Jackie Matthews. Jackie Matthews, she has a way about her that impresses me whenever I watch her, because she can go through some streaks of missing some shots, but then she's lights out from beyond the arc. She's a pure three-point shooter, and it's kind of tough to stop a team whenever they make a lot of three-pointers. You know, as a coach, how do you kind of slow down a team that has that potential?
Well, I think the really hard thing is with Westminster is that they have a great inside-outside game. Fromneck has a great skill set with being able to post up. She's able to spot up a little bit further. She's shown a little bit of three-point range. And so you have to really honor her in the post, and that tends to open up some scoring on the outside. And so, Matthews is a kid that if she gets her feet set, she is lights out. And as a pure shooter, she has a really short memory. If she misses a couple, that's fine, because she has confidence in what she's doing and isn't afraid to shoot it.
Well, she's definitely not. She leads all the players on this court in terms of three-pointers made. She has 53. Right behind her is Jess Bowen for Grove City with 40. And then after that, it's Mackenzie Black with 34. Megan Polchinski of Westminster with 28. And Alicia Greaves with 22 for the Titans. So you have the potential of seeing a lot of three balls, but for the most part, for both these teams, they like to work it down low, and they have a lot of players that can do that pretty effectively. We'll get to the last game for both these teams when we take a look at Westminster in the first-round game against Waynesburg. They came away victorious by a score of 88-80. It was a little bit of a slow start for them. They lost the first half. They lost the first 2 quarters, and then they really turned it on there in the second half, beating Waynesburg in the third quarter 26-14, and then tallying 35 points in that fourth quarter, beating the Jackets 35-30. So as a coach, we talk about this all the time. I love to pick the brain of coaches. What is said in the locker room at halftime that can completely reverse your team the opposite direction and end up with a victory?
Well, it can actually be a couple different things. Sometimes you just come in and you just need to make a few little adjustments or a few little tweaks to what you're doing. Sometimes you just need to give your players a boost of confidence. And sometimes you kind of get into them a little bit and push them a little bit to light a fire under them. So there's a lot of different things that can happen in that halftime locker room.
Well, some of the top scorers in that game against Waynesburg for Westminster, Jackie Matthews had 18 points. She was fantastic. And Kayla Bennett had 18 as well. Fromneck had 13. And Megan Polchinski finished with a very impressive 17. And in that game for Fromneck, she had a double-double with 12 total rebounds. And for Waynesburg, they struggled from beyond the arc. That was kind of their Achilles heel. We know that they have that tendency of making a lot of 3 balls, but that was one thing they struggled with in the defense, where Westminster really came on strong as the game went final. And the final, or the last game for Grove City, was a little bit ago. They had a game against W&J where they lost 65-53. They kind of sputtered on offense, and as I mentioned, one of the worst teams in the PAC in terms of scoring offense, but the best team in scoring defense. Jess Bowen led her team with 15 points. Kate Balcom had 10, and Mackenzie Black had 10, and they went up against a very tough W&J team that has battled with injuries this season, a lot of youth, but they're certainly a program that you want to watch out for. The winner of this game, as I mentioned earlier, will get W&J. But Grove City, they haven't played in a little bit. You had the Westminster Titans that played just a few days ago. So what's it like now coming into this game, being completely well-rested compared to a team that has played in the last few days?
Yeah, I think Grove City definitely has the advantage in that, we finished our regular season on Saturday. Westminster turned around. They played Monday, had one day off, which really isn't even a day off because you're prepping for this game, and then you're playing today. And, Grove City has been off now since Saturday. So they've got a little bit of advantage in the rest area, but it's also playoff time, so anything can happen.
Absolutely, especially in the PAC. There's a lot of parity on both the men's and the women's side. And now we'll talk about the first meeting between these two teams. They did meet twice, like every team in the PAC does. Westminster was able to get the best of Grove City in that first meeting by a score of 76-51. Some of the standouts in that one: Jackie Matthews had 16. Megan Polchinski had 15. Alicia Greaves had 12. And with 9 is Emily Fromneck. She also picked up a handful of rebounds as well. So the one thing that's standing out to me a lot, although she doesn't lead her team in points per game, is Jackie Matthews. I mean, she's had a fantastic last couple games, and then in that first meeting really dominated by tallying 16 points. Jess Bowen led her squad in that first game for Grove City with 18. And then they had Kate Balcom, who finished with 11, and Sedona Campbell had 10. And in the second meeting, it went in the favor of Grove City. Westminster really couldn't score the ball, but they did have a lot of help from Emily Fromneck, who was 1 rebound shy of a double-double. She had 20 points and 9 rebounds. Aaliyah Gage finished with 15, and in that game, Jackie Matthews only had 3 points, nailing 1 3-pointer, and was relatively silent. So the Grove City defense was really effective in that one. And Jess Bowen, again, leading her squad with 15 points, as she did in that first meeting. So these teams very familiar with one another. It really could go either way tonight, considering the fact that Westminster won the first one, Grove City won the second.
Right, and I think if you look at the stats from that first meeting, the 3-point shooting of Westminster was definitely one of the big differences. They were 13 of 24 from the 3-point range. But if you look at the second game, they didn't shoot nearly as many. They didn't shoot nearly as well. And Grove City really dominated the offensive boards.
Yeah, they did, and they have a tendency to do that, but they're going to go up against a really tall and a really formidable foe down low in Emily Fromneck. Well, we'll step aside real quick for the national anthem. We'll come back with the starting lineups here on the PAC Sports Network.
The biggest thing with Consolidated is their customer service. They treat you like a preferred client, even if you're just starting with them.
They've truly taken the time to understand who we are as a business and recommend the best product and services based upon that knowledge of who we are.
Being able to rely on a technology partner like CCI to provide. The fiber backbone means that our internet signal is completely reliable. I can't recommend any other parties. Consolidated is my first choice.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
After the national anthem, that means we're about to get set here at Grove City College. Rob McKinney alongside the very, very impressive coach, Lori Wynn of the Geneva Golden Tornadoes. This was her last year coaching, and she just enlightened me during the break that she played against Shelly Foose, the head coach of the Grove City Wolverines, and I'm sure we'll get to that and a lot more nuggets. We're so happy to have Coach Wynn on board with us today. So right now we're going to get to the starting lineups. First, we're going to start off with Westminster. Their starting lineup looks as such. They'll start off with the freshman, sporting number 0, Megan Polchinski, the 5'5 guard out of Irwin, PA. The next starter will sport number 11, Alicia Greaves, the sophomore, standing in at 5'7 from West Sunbury, PA. And then we'll have the three-point specialist, the senior at 5'6, sporting number 22, Jackie Matthews out of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart in Pittsburgh, PA. And then we'll have the big one between the blocks, standing in at 6 foot, the junior, Emily Fromneck from Erie, PA, attended McDowell High School. And then to round it out, the big forward down low at 6'1", Kayla Bennett, sporting number 33 from Kent, Ohio. So this team has tremendous size coming from Fromneck and Bennett, both standing 6 foot or higher. They're led by Roseanne Scott. And now we'll get to the starters for the Grove City Wolverines. We'll start off with Jordan McConnell, the sophomore, standing in at 5'3 from Smithville, Ohio. And then we'll have number 14, Jess Bowen, the sophomore 5'8 forward from Pittsburgh, PA. And then we'll have the really talented scorers between Mackenzie Black, the senior at 5'3 from Akron, Ohio. And then Kate Balcom, sporting number 23, the junior, standing in at 5'6 from Londonderry, New Hampshire. And then we'll have one of the tallest girls, if not the tallest girl in the PAC, Laura Buchanan at 6'3". And with the size advantage, I guess you can kind of give it to Westminster since they have 2 girls standing over 6 foot, but it's kind of difficult whenever you have somebody standing in at 6'3 between the blocks.
Yeah, I think Buchanan really causes a lot of issues inside. She's not always a great scorer, but she alters a lot of shots. You know, she's one of their leading, if not leader, in shot blocks.
Right.
So, she definitely makes things difficult inside for teams.
Well, defense can spark offense, and for Grove City, first in the PAC in scoring defense, only allowing about 53 points against them. So with that mark, we were talking about it again during break about how disciplined this defense is and how just talented it is. And with that defense, then sparks their offense that could use a little bit of work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they run, they are such a disciplined team and they execute things so well. So you're going to see multiple defenses tonight. You're going to see them change things. And so they really try to keep teams off balance and create offense. And generally they do a good job with that.
So now we're about to be underway here at Grove City. Thank you for tuning into the PAC Sports Network. PAC Tournament Pay between the Grove City Wolverines and the Westminster Titans. Grove City coming into this one third in the tournament. Number 6, the Westminster Titans. Westminster, big win against Waynesburg to get them to this point. The winner of this one will take on W&J, but we have a lot of basketball to go before we get to that point. The opening tip is won by Grove City. Here's McConnell. Looking left side to Bowen, sporting that shooter sleeve, and you'll see her. I mean, she can really rack up the rebounds despite being 5'6". She's just always in great position, a tremendous athlete, somebody who's really gritty and plays with a ton of passion as Buchanan backs in on Bennett. Her shot falls.
And this is going to be an interesting matchup in the post with these players because the Westminster players are definitely a little bit more mobile, but Buchanan is definitely bigger.
Top of the key, here's Matthews. Keep an eye on her from beyond the arc. This time she works in. Her turnaround shot, yes. Jackie Matthews has her first points. She has 2. Score tied at 2 as Bowen works in. Her shot from the right block. That one misses, and it's rebounded by the Titans, and that's Polchinski who settles it down for Fromneck. Polchinski moving to her left. Over the course of the season, these two teams split their season series. Westminster won the first one, Grove City the second.
And each of them winning on their home court. So this will be a good matchup tonight.
And these teams like to play at home. Grove City especially. They only have 2 losses and 10 wins at home. As we have Buchanan with a block shot. You mentioned it before the game, and we saw one right there. That was against a pretty tall Kayla Bennett at 6'1". Bowen has it, working in on Polchinski. Now kicking it out. McConnell thinking about a 3. Takes it off the back of the iron and rebounded by Bennett. And again, Grove City, although not their bread and butter, they can shoot the 3-ball. Keep an eye on McConnell and Bowen in that category. Matthews just trying to force the ball down low to Fromneck off the hand of Buchanan.
And I think three-point shooting is probably one of the differences in this game. Westminster shoots the 3 a little bit better and a little bit more often than Grove City does.
When you have a specialist like Jackie Matthews, it's pretty easy to do that.
Yeah, they're constantly looking for chances for her to spot up and get her feet set.
And I'm sure it helps considering the fact that Fromneck and Bennett are able to work down low. They can kick it back out as Bennett now takes her chance off the back of the iron. Rebounded by Bowen as that one misses.
And we're seeing that just hustle that Bowen brings to this team.
And again, you have somebody at 6'3", and Laura Buchanan, but Malcolm can get a lot of the rebounds despite being 5'6", because as we have a foul here on the floor, it'll go against the Titans, in particular Greaves. That'll be her first. But the one thing that I was told by coaches, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but they said that it's not necessarily the tallest who gets the rebounds, it's the one who's in the best position and who works the hardest to get to the ball.
Absolutely. And Bowen just works so hard.
And really, this team for Grove City, it doesn't matter who it is, they can usually get to the ball and get a lot of the rebounds. As Greaves drives in, there's another foul on the floor. That time it will be against Grove City, their first.
It's going to be very interesting to see how tight the officials call this game and if they're going to let them play or if they're going to start, calling everything that go into the basket.
A foul on Bowen, her first. A shot here from Bennett missed. She got her own rebound and was able to put it back up. It looked like Buchanan was lost underneath the hoop.
Yeah, not really sure how she found herself wide open under there, but I think everybody might have been a little surprised.
So 2-point advantage now for the Titans. McConnell trapped. She didn't know where to go. Does find Bowen. There's Balcom trying to work in. Spinning. Trying to find room. Here's McConnell. She works in now kicks it out. Lining up a 3 is Black. Yes!
And that's just classic basketball right there. Put the ball on the floor, draw the defense to you, and kick out to your shooters.
It looked like the Titans were able to get there possibly, but a quick release there from Black. Answering 3 from Matthews misses. I think that one might have been a little forced from her.
It was kind of pretty quick, but again, she's such a great shooter that she gets those feet set. I'm sure she has the green light.
There's an opportunity for Fromnek. A great pass up ahead by Polchinski, and that one just misses. As Greaves finds some open space and makes it count. 2 points for Alicia Greaves. She has 2. Matthews has 2, and Kayla Bennett has 2. Those are the scores for Westminster. They lead by 1. Perfect pass, but Bowen off her hands. Balcom is able to get it. Her chance, yes.
And there's Balcom being in the right place at the right time.
Well, it looked like that was a great pass down low to Bowen, just maybe a little bit too strong for her. But again, you mentioned Balcom's always in the right position. Seems like the ball just kind of attracts to her. She has magnetic hands and the ball is metal.
It really does. She just has that uncanny ability to be in the exact right spot at the right time. She's really the motor of this team, I think.
And she's been our Foster Law Officer Player of the Game a handful of times. And you can see why. She can pretty much do it all for her squad. She has it now here at the right wing. Jess Bowen tries to work on Bennett. That was too strong. It was rebounded by Grove City, and it's missed. That was Jess Book who couldn't get that opportunity to fall. Correction, Sedona Campbell. Wilczynski gets it stripped away by Balcom, and now we have a scramble for it and a foul. They're going to say against Bennett. She couldn't get full grasp of that ball and caused a tie-up. So they're going to get that one on Bennett, her first.
You know, I think Campbell brings a different look to their inside game. She's a little bit more athletic and a little bit more mobile than Buchanan is, and so look for her to really create some havoc inside.
And we did have a sub for Westminster. Lysick checks in. Bowen on that left wing, now trying to move in. Reverse layup attempt. Yes, that was pretty.
You know, this Grove City team really has no fear going to the basket.
Clearly, I mean, you could tell. I mean, it's everybody.
Yeah, Bowen's not especially tall either,
Right.
but she went in there right against Bennett with no fear whatsoever. Twice in the last 2 possessions, actually.
Fromnek trying to work in, kicks it out to Lysick, just too high and off her hands. Possession will go with Grove City.
And this is really where Grove City can hurt you. They just cause turnovers in the half court, you know, either with errant passes or, live ball turnovers. And the next thing you know, they're coming down and converting those into points.
So now Black hands it on to Balcom. Has some space, trying to work in. Does so. Step back shot. No. Now Grove City is able to get the rebound. Here's a deep 3 taken and made. How about that shot? From Mackenzie Black. 2 3-pointers made in the game. So far, she has 6. We have a timeout called, and we'll step aside here on the PAC Sports Network.
Well, who do you think you are? Walk through these gates, and you'll find out. It'll take, 4 years. 4 years of rigorous academics, of grand tradition, citizenship, of making friends for life, and let's not forget, having fun. While you're doing all this, we have a job too. To ensure your success. And make no mistake, we're good at it. Welcome to Bethany, a small college of national distinction.
Welcome back to Grove City College here on the PAC Sports Network. And the song playing in the background is Taking Care of Business. That's exactly what Grove City is doing on a little bit of a run here. And they're up 12-6. Couple big 3-pointers made by Black. She leads her team in scoring with 6.
I think that's a good timeout by Coach Scott, just to give her team a chance to relax a little bit, regroup, refocus, and kind of try to stop the run that Grove City was on.
There's a shot from the right block. Kayla Bennett, count it.
And they went right inside to the big kids.
Kayla Bennett leading her team with 4 points, and we have a foul underneath. And the guilty party will again be Kayla Bennett. That's her second. That's Westminster's 3rd foul. It's on the floor, so inbound attempt here for Grove City. Laura Buchanan will check in. Coming out, Sedona Campbell. Also, Balcom will take a seat as Allison Podkol will make her first appearance, and a couple subs for Westminster. We'll get to them as the possession continues here for Grove City. Here's Bowen. Trying to kick it out, finds Buchanan. Here's Gretchen Elsey working it up to Bowen. Time winding down on the shot clock. It's at 10. Now Bowen kicking it out. Mackenzie Black back out to Elsey as there's only 3 seconds left on the shot clock. A shot has to come off. They're going to say a double dribble before the shot is released.
You know, you got to love the way that Grove City executes, but that time they just got a little too deep in the shot clock without somebody willing to take control of the possession.
So in for the first time is Francesca Sakari. Here's Lysick, takes the beautiful pass, and she makes it count. A great vision there for Westminster.
Westminster just did a great job of breaking that press, that possession.
Grove City looking to answer. Here's Buchanan, left block. Yes, Buchanan now has 4 points. So Westminster doing pretty well on offense, down by just 4, 1 point down by 6. Here's Sakari trying to work in, kicks it out, and Lysick off her hand, and they're going to say it will go with Grove City. Elsey was there as well, but was off the fingertips of Lysick. And again, some more subs. And what an exciting time to enter into tournament play. We talked about in the beginning. As we have a foul going against Sakari. That'll be her first, team 4th.
Westminster foul number 14.
But I'm sure it's a completely different mindset heading into the tournament. If you lose a game during the season, you focus on that next one. There is no next one if you lose.
Yeah, I think you see the emotion and the intensity just running just a bit higher once it hits tournament time.
And both these teams made the tournament last year. As Balcom tries to work in. Her shot, yes! Balcom able to make it count against a very good defender in Aaliyah Gage. Westminster again doing a good job of breaking the press. Wide open attempt from 3, and that one misses for Gage, and then a quick foul, and the foul's now piling up for the Titans. Leah Gage, the guilty party.
Oh, that's going to send Grove City to the line for 2 for the next 2 minutes here.
Yep, the bonus is in play, so Poncool will head to the line. Her first attempt is true. Poncool, just a freshman, but has played in 24 games. Did make her first start Saturday at W&J, season high of 11 points. That came against Geneva at Geneva. I'm sorry, I didn't really mean to mention that.
It's totally fine.
But just a freshman, she's done some really fine things for this program since she's come on board. Her second shot at the line is true as well. Poncool has 2 points. Both of them coming from the charity stripe. And Balcom here with a steal. That's one underrated part of her game. We talked about the defense, but she can really pile up the steals.
Oh, she really can. She's just in the right place at the right time. You know, she moves so well, and she has that ability to read where the ball's going.
Tremendous vision, and basketball IQ is incredibly high. You can just see that from talking to her after the game. As you have a spin-around shot by Poncool. She's on fire. She has 4. And now a 10-point advantage as we have a steal again from Balcom. That's 3 so far for her. And a much-needed timeout taken for the Titans. They're down by 12. We'll step aside again here on the PAC Sports Network.
Co-ed, Chatham University offers over 40 majors in the health sciences, sustainability, business, and the arts and sciences. Qualified undergraduates can also be admitted into our integrated undergraduate and graduate programs in physical and occupational therapy, physician assistant studies, and more. Live on our historic Shadyside campus or our Eden Hall campus, the first in the world built for the study of sustainability. Strong academics, Division III men's and women's sports, one-of-a-kind campus locations. Chatham.edu.
Welcome back here on the PAC Sports Network. And we talked about, before that must-needed timeout for the Titans, about these two teams last year making the tournament for Grove City. Last year they beat Waynesburg in the first round 80-46, really a dominant victory for them. Lexi Arkwright, who was playing for the team at the time, tallied a ton of points. She was fantastic. And the one thing that I noticed from Grove City from last year to this year was that Lexi Arkwright took a lot of the shots, a ton of them, darn near all of them, and they didn't really incorporate a lot of their pieces as well as you would have liked this year. Although they certainly are missing her, it's a team effort.
Yeah, they're much more balanced this year. And the other thing that people don't think about is when Arkwright left, she was their best defensive player, but Balcom is just...
And again, another steal.
Yeah,
right as you were talking
that
about.
Role.
Right. And that's 4 steals in this game so far for Balcom. She's done a fantastic job as we're nearing a minute to play here in the first quarter. And Grove City, after that first win, they lost in the quarterfinal to number 1 ranked at that point, Thomas More, by a score of 90-45. So they dominated in the first round game and then lost heavily in the second round game to Thomas More. They did make it to the ECAC Division III Championship Tournament, but lost in the first round to Lemonade Valley, 73-62. Grove City looking to inbound here. They do find Balcom. For the Titans last year, they made it to the tournament but didn't progress very far as they lost to Waynesburg in that first round, 86-71. So correction on my end, Waynesburg actually ended up having a bye that first round.
And there's just Black turning it over without, just not putting the ball down quick enough.
So it seems like just a lot of turnovers on both sides, in particular for the Titans. They just can't seem to break the press, but when they do, that's when they have their most success, obviously, as time is dwindling down here in the first quarter. Fromnick trying to get that pass, but it's off her hands. A little bit too strong from Leisig. It almost seemed like a wide receiver from a quarterback just took her eye off the ball at the last second.
Just a little bit, and it wasn't a perfect pass.
So we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Grove City now on the attack. They're up by 12. There's McConnell working at left side. Bowen trying to find somewhere to go. Solid defense here from the Titans.
Yeah, they look like they've picked up their intensity just a little bit coming out of that timeout.
Here's Bowen, step back 3, off the front of the iron, rebounded by Matthews. Shot clock turned off. We're at 4 seconds, and another steal from Balcom. That's 5. She was going in, and that pass just too strong. I was really excited about that one, but 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Wow.
Yeah, Balcom is she's just everywhere defensively.
And now that throw in to Kolchinsky will end the first quarter. Well, Balcom, if you want to hear this, she's on pace for 20 steals. She has 5 now in that first quarter, but that ends the first quarter with a lead 22-10 for Grove City. Again, we'll step aside. We've got to pay some bills here on the PAC Sports Network.
The biggest thing with Consolidated is their customer service. They treat you like a preferred client, even if you're just starting with them.
They've truly taken the time to understand who we are as a business and recommend the best product and services based upon that knowledge of who we are.
Being able to rely on a technology partner like CCI to provide the fiber backbone means that our internet signal is completely reliable. I can't recommend any other parties. Consolidated is my first choice.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
Welcome back to the PAC Sports Network. Rob McKinney alongside Coach Wynn. And so far, a really impressive first quarter defensively for Grove City. We told you that was going to be an emphasis of the game. The best team in terms of defense in the PAC, not allowing opponents barely more than 50 points against. And right now, only 10 in that first quarter for Westminster, and a handful of steals, most of them coming by the hands of Kate Balcom.
Right, you got to think that Grove City really likes the pace of this game, especially holding Westminster to 10 points in that first quarter.
So the Titans have some work to do. Matthews, her 3, in and out. She's not afraid to put them up, and for the most part, she makes them. And as we have McConnell settling it down for Grove City. Here's Bowen, gets that pass underneath. Too strong. Here's Buchanan with the rebound, and she's fouled on the way up.
As a coach, you've got to be happy when you open the game with 6 steals in the first quarter.
Wow. 5 from Balcom or 6 from her?
She had 5 and trying to find the other one. Elsie had the other one.
Right. Fantastic stuff. First bucket made there by Buchanan. Buchanan has 5 points. Looking for 6, yes.
You know, we talked about the balance of this Grove City team, and you can see it right now in their scoring. You know, they've got 2, 6, 6, 6, 4. Very, very balanced out of this group.
Grove City shooting 53% on the floor. Fantastic stuff. Polchinski lines up a 3. Short. Rebounded by Buchanan, and the Wolverines move left to right. Here's Balcom, hands it on to McConnell. McConnell trying to work in on Polchinski, and Polchinski gets a hand, knocks it out of play.
You know, Polchinski's just a freshman, but I don't think she gets a lot of credit. She's a very, very good defensive player. She's pretty quick. She keeps herself in great position, and she really causes some problems for ball handlers, I think.
And this team is pretty underrated with their defense. However, they are 6th in the PAC in scoring defense, averaging about 66 points against. And they're 7th in scoring offense, averaging about 60 points per game. And we had a hard fall there from McConnell, but she seems to be all right. So certainly it's hard to win whenever you don't score as much as you allow the other teams to score. But they're right now in the quarterfinals. Westminster trying to make a comeback here, down by 14. Still plenty of time in the game. As Sakari tried to work in, and we have a foul on the floor. They're going to say that was a charge against Sakari. That's her second, and again, the fouls continue to pile up for the Titans. They've had 7 altogether in the game, 2 now in the second quarter, and only a couple against Grove City. So the discipline and the defense proving effective for the Wolverines. Certainly highlighted that at the onset of the game. Buchanan, right block, trying to force her way in, spinning shot, yes! That size, it certainly helps, and she has 8 points. She's on fire.
And it really probably is to Grove City's favor that Kayla Bennett is sitting on the bench right now with 2 fouls, their biggest player.
Ashley Russell kicks it out. Fromneck, her shot missed. Polchinski with the rebound. And she's trying to find any space she can. Here's a shot from 3 by Russell. That one misses almost everything. And putting it back up is Polchinski. No foul called, as the Westminster faithful wanted something there. But again, just great defense from Grove City.
And they seem to really be defending that 3-point line very, very well today.
Stanford trying to get it down low to Buchanan, now gets it back. Back now to Buchanan, backing in on Fromneck, and she cannot miss between the blocks.
She is doing a great job getting position inside and really just getting herself in a place where she can hit easy, close shots.
She is in double digits, is Buchanan. She has 10. And now Polchinski lines up a 3. Yes! Her first point.
That was a much-needed basket by Westminster.
A big triple. And they're down by 15 now. And at one point down by 18. Driving in is McConnell. Trying to kick it out. Well defended there by Polchinski. You're just singing her praises defensively, and a foul now. Called against Grove City. In particular, it's Stanford, I believe. It is. Stanford, her first foul. So now Aaliyah Gage will check back in for the Titans, along with Kayla Bennett. And a couple subs for Grove City as Elsie comes back into the contest, along with Mackenzie Black.
And you're seeing Westminster bring some size into the game now with both Fromneck and Bennett in the game.
Travel, or carry, rather.
She carried that.
Right.
It looked like she might get away with it there for a minute.
Yeah, it was certainly a delayed call by the officials. I was kind of waiting to see what his sign would be, and certainly a carry. I played basketball for 2 years, and I think I led my team in carries. It was embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. Here's Elsie on the left wing. Giving it on to Mackenzie Black. Back out to Elsie.
You're seeing a little bit of zone here by Westminster.
You are, and moving the ball pretty effectively, Grove City, but they just can't seem to work it in, and the turnover as crashing hard into the mats.
And Crumneck just could not keep a hold of that.
Right. And that was Sedona Campbell went down. She seems to be all right. And
it'll be interesting now to see what happens with Grove City. They're not a great three-point shooting team, so this zone might force them to take some more outside shots.
Well, it seemed like Roseanne Scott was needing to make a change, and she did just that as a quick shot is taken and made. Using the backboard to her advantage is Jess Book. Book it. Now the Titans handing it on. Polchinski thought about a three. Moving in now. Kicks it back out. Aaliyah Gage. Open look. No. Rebounded by Bowen, and the Wolverines go left to right again. That one is forced down low. That's off the hands of Jess Book. But now we have some size in for Grove City. Elsie, Book, and Buchanan all around. Or not Buchanan, rather. Sedona Campbell all around 6 feet.
And that one just went off the feet of Book. She thought she had the steal and just took her eye off of it.
Westminster inbounding. Here's Gage. Finds Bennett. Her shot misses as she was working in on the smaller Mackenzie Black. Would you like to have seen her maybe take a few more steps in, get a little bit closer to the hoop?
No, I think she had a great look at it. She just didn't finish it.
Kicking out, Grove City. Here's a fantastic move. Shot from three, Elsie. That missed. Rebounded, however. And going back up with it and fouled is Campbell. So she will head to the line and attempt 2 shots. That foul's on Kayla Bennett. Keep an eye on her. She has 3 fouls.
You got to wonder if Coach Scott is going to go to her bench just to sit her for a little bit.
Well, I guess it's on the floor. Initially thought the official ruled the shooting foul, but will stay on the court. So inbounding will be Grove City. Sedona Campbell, just a sophomore from Slippery Rock, PA, drawing that foul. Did have 13 points and 6 boards in the last meeting against Westminster. Season high of 17, where she collected against Shadow. Underneath. Great finish again from Jess Book.
That's a great power move inside.
It seems like Grove City right now, they're just doing everything well. Here's Matthews trying to work in, kicks it out. Bennett now finding an open Russell. Her shot from 3. That one misses again. So back-to-back 3-ball misses from Russell. And it seems like Grove City's okay with letting the Titans take those 3 opportunities because they've only capitalized on a couple so far. So the lead continuing to grow for Grove City. They're up 32-13. About 5 minutes to play in the first half. Down low, here's Book. Trying to find Balcom, but fortunately for her, it goes to Bowen. And now Black with it, out to Bowen. She can shoot the 3-ball. Yes, and she nails it.
That's just great ball movement. You know, Black gave that little shot fake, got the defense in the air, kicked out to her teammate.
And Bowen with that 3-ball made gives her 5 points. And we have a foul quickly against Grove City.
You know, I think we're seeing that discipline on the offensive end of the floor that we talked about for Grove City. You know, they execute so well. They're patient. They do a lot of little things.
And that foul was on Kate Balcom, the second foul against the Wolverines. And we have another foul. And again, it's against Grove City.
It's starting to get a little bit physical inside.
And that's on Campbell. That's her first and the team's 3rd foul now, 2 shy of the bonus. Alicia Greaves will throw it in now for Westminster. Greaves has 2 points. Hands it on to Bennett. Her turnaround shot missed again. Rebounded by the Wolverines. And that consistency really not there for the Titans early on in the game. They were good between the blocks, made the first few shots, and now they just can't seem to buy a bucket.
And you've got to wonder if just they're starting to feel a little bit of pressure.
And we have a 3-second violation. So Westminster will have it. You don't see that call often. At least I don't.
No, I don't. You don't really see it very much either. I think we've maybe seen 2 or 3 all year.
And again, almost another steal for Balcom. That would have been her 6th. But now Bennett has it for the Titans. Hands it on to Matthews. Keep an eye on her. She can shoot the three. She works in, and they're going to say an offensive foul on Matthews as spiraling backwards is Balcom. And they were going to say she maybe extended that forearm.
I think she did. And you've got to look at the position that the Grove City defenders get, where they're squared to the offensive player, and they've got their feet set, and the push, they draw it. That's the second charge that Westminster's had.
And Balcom will take a seat. It's coming in for her is Lauren Frederick, seeing her first action tonight, the sophomore from New Wilmington, PA.
And she can shoot it. She's got great form. She's a young kid, but she gets her feet set. She moves well.
So we'll keep an eye on her as well. Here's the steal. It actually might have just gone off the leg of Polchinski. And Greaves works in, and coming up and fouling is McConnell. That's her first.
I think Polchinski might have gotten a piece of that.
We'll give her the credit.
I think she might have got a little poke there.
And again, she's been the key defensively for the Titans. A couple steals and has been the right place at the right time.
And really, for Westminster, she makes that team go. She's kind of been the piece that they've added this year that have kind of sent them to the next level. I think she's done a fantastic job running that team. She's got great players around her. She knows who she needs to get the ball to and when.
And she's just a freshman out of Irwin, PA, attended Norwin High School. Energizer Bunny. And whenever you have a great facilitator, somebody who can do it all, distribute and shoot, it certainly helps your team. Here's the three ball taken and missed. Rebounded, however, by Grove City. And that was Frederick with that three ball.
Did you see that quick release she had?
Absolutely. Here's Bowen. She's working in now. Just sends up a prayer, and she's fouled on the way up. So this time she will head to the line and attempt 2 shots.
And again, that puts them in the bonus for the next 3 minutes.
And 3 minutes till half. That's a foul on Lysick. So here's Bowen at the line. First attempt is made. She has 6 points. And for Bowen, one-year letter winner. Started all but one game so far this year.
And she shoots free throws at about a 72% clip.
Which is fair. It's the only time where she didn't start. She came off the bench in senior day. So here's Greaves looking for somewhere to go. Polchinski open lane, and she's just swatted away by Buchanan. Didn't really need to jump up, just kind of went down with it. As we have a three taken by Greaves and a much-needed three made, and we have a timeout taken by Shelly Foose. And again, we'll step aside one more time, probably before the half here on the PAC Sports Network.
Whether you're a traditional college-bound student, busy adult, or an advanced degree seeker, Geneva College offers degree programs tailored to your professional goals and personal commitments. Online or on campus, you'll enjoy personalized attention and a supportive Christian community of inspiring scholarship. Complete your degree in business, engineering, education, counseling, or one of 50 other programs. Geneva College. Step forward, leap ahead. Head to geneva.edu to get started.
Welcome back here on the PAC Sports Network. A pretty commanding lead for the Grove City Wolverines over the Westminster Titans, 37-16. And you noted the scoring disparity between these two teams.
Yeah, Westminster's only been able to put up 6 in this quarter so far. And at the beginning of the game, we talked about the defense of Grove City and how they rely on that, and I think we're really seeing it.
Only allowing just 16 points so far in this first half. Remarkable defense for the Wolverines. Here's Buchanan, as open as you can be, and that's missed. And she got a second crack at it, but it goes out of play. They're going to say off the hands of Fromneck, so it will stay with Grove City.
And that was just a fantastic look. Perfect execution. She opened up on that roll. She showed her numbers. She shaped up, as we would call it. Just didn't get it. Just didn't finish it.
And that does not speak to her game so far today. She has 10 points, does Buchanan. Here's a three ball in and out, missed by McConnell. Rebounded by Westminster, and they come the other way. Polchinski working on a McConnell. Advancing to her right. Hands it on to Greaves. Now trying to work it down low to Fromneck. Nearly stolen. Fromneck kicks it out. Greaves, three. Too strong. And it's rebounded by Grove City. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. McConnell will slow things down for her squad. McConnell, the sophomore guard out of Smithville, Ohio. And now the freshman Frederick gives it on to McConnell. Now working it around. Here's Mackenzie Black. She's been fabulous from beyond the arc. And at that point, not fabulous at getting her feet set as she was called for a travel.
Yeah, that's her second turnover.
Mackenzie Black does have 2 big 3 balls made, has 6 points. And we have a sub here for the Titans. Coming in for the first time is Tenerick, the sophomore. Polchinski in on Balcom. Works to her right. Finds Tenerick, her shot, nothing but net. A hand in her face, a 6'3" hand, may I add, but that one was buried. 2 points for the sophomore. Now Jess Bowen. It's worked down low, Buchanan. Buchanan working back out, too strong off the backboard, and she is not able to get control of it as eventually Matthews comes down with it. And here she has it, hands it on to Greaves. Up from net, from 3, no chance as it's rebounded by Grove City. And that's Jessica Kimbrell.
And I think Buchanan definitely disrupted that shot. You know, you see a 6'3" kid coming out at you.
That's scary, right? I feel like that would. I'm about 6'3", and that would scare me a little bit. As if Buchanan gets down low, makes the shot and the foul.
Well, I'm 5'8", and it would definitely scare me.
So, if anything, a formidable foe for sure.
Definitely.
So at the line is Buchanan. She has 12 points. And Buchanan, the senior, 3-year letter winner.
Also a very good volleyball player.
You know, I would hope. I would hope. So for Buchanan, 13 points. And the lead, 40-18 for Grove City. And almost a steal for the Wolverines.
Steal.
Yeah, I mean, that's been their specialty in this game.
And Buchanan's an all-PAC selection for volleyball.
Wow. Fantastic stuff. And our information guy to our left, Randy Gore, coming up clutch with some much-needed information. We have a stoppage of play here. We are pleased to be joined by our owner of the PAC Sports Network, Randy Gore, working as our producer. Amanda Sloan getting the night off. Much needed. She's done fantastic work this season as we almost have another steal for Balcom.
And there's
Time
Balcom
dwindling down. Here's Fromneck, her
all
runner.
over the floor.
Yes. Fromneck with her first points. Can you believe that as time expires in the first half? The score at the half, Grove City 40, Westminster 20, and we'll come back in a little bit to talk about the first half and preview the second half. But right now, we'll step aside on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
The biggest thing with Consolidated is their customer service. They treat you like a preferred client, even if you're just starting with them.
They've truly taken the time to understand who we are as a business and recommend the best product and services based upon that knowledge of who we are.
Being able to rely on a technology partner like CCI to provide the fiber backbone means that our internet signal is completely reliable. I can't recommend any other parties. Consolidated is my first choice.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader, and I think that was something I had the capability of doing, and forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom, you have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out into community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things. So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
We are the coaches of women's basketball. We are leaders and teachers, dreamers and winners. We are professionals who conduct ourselves ethically and with integrity. We place the education, safety, and well-being of the athletes we coach above all else and teach them the fundamental values they need to succeed in life. We are coaches united for the good of our game and those who play it. We are the WBCA.
Now, so far for the Wolverines, pretty dominant effort there in that first half. They're leading 40-20 over the visiting Westminster Titans. Grove City coming to this game ranked third in the tournament with a 15-10 overall record. Westminster at 9-17 overall, ranked sixth in the PAC tournament. Westminster, of course, having that big win against Waynesburg to propel them into this game here against Grove City. But the Wolverines, again, we're just going to keep highlighting the fact that they can really do it all, and we'll hit the statistics here in this game, but first we'll go ahead and give you a score around the PAC as Teal is currently leading Chatham by a score of 34-29.
At the half.
And that was not how it was after one. Chatham was leading 16-10 over the Tomcats, and the winner of that game will play St. Vincent. And to be completely honest with you, St. Vincent might be the most well-rounded PAC team that I've seen in a long time, other than Thomas More whenever they were here, of course. But I mean, altogether, that St. Vincent team with the youth that they had, along with the upperclassmen, they're just fun to watch.
They really are. And again, they're another team that gets it done defensively.
Yeah.
And then they love to push pace off those turnovers.
That and W&J, despite the youth, having a fantastic season, second in the PAC, and the winner of this game will get the Presidents. Will be later on this week. But right now we'll get to this game and look at the statistics. Again, Grove City leading Westminster 40-20. And some of the statistics that lead out to me or jump out to me is that the Wolverines shooting 47% from the floor and about 37.5% from three-point range. Struggled a little bit there in that second, but only attempted 4 shots, making 1. But the free throw line, the Wolverines have not missed. They're 7 of 7. So as a coach, the one thing I like to say, and again, talking to a lot of coaches, games are won or lost at the charity stripe. Now, I know it doesn't make that much of a difference maybe right now in this game looking at the score, but how important is it as a coach to look down and see, wow, my team has not missed from free opportunities at the line?
Well, I think that we always talk about that free throws and layups win games. And in a tight game, those free throws really, really matter. And Grove City is traditionally a pretty good free throw shooting team. So I think you look at those numbers and it's kind of an expectation for them at this point. I think the thing that's really probably going to be frustrating for Coach Scott is that her team hasn't been to the line at all. And they have tried to go inside many, many times. Right, and their team's shooting about 32% from the floor, which isn't horrible. We certainly want that mark to be a little bit higher. And just shooting 18% from beyond the arc. And they really have not, you mentioned, no chances at the line. So Grove City has been relatively disciplined, and they have had some fouls, but all of them have been on the floor. But for the Titans, they haven't been as disciplined. They've gotten their hand stuck in the cookie jar, if I can use a cliche, a number of times in this game. But for Grove City, the more statistics that stand out, 23 rebounds to Westminster's 13. And in the steal department, Grove City leading 6-3, 5 of which coming from Kate Balcom. But Megan Polchinski does have all 3 of the steals for Westminster. So the defense at times okay for Westminster, but for Grove City, I think the rebounding is one of their more important statistics in this game so far. Yeah, I definitely think so. And if you look at their points in the paint, they've outscored Westminster 22-12 with points in the paint. And really, that's a little bit surprising because, Westminster has a good duo inside with Bennett and Fromneck. Kind of thought that they might counteract Buchanan a little bit. Well, Fromneck only has 2 points in this game. She's their leading scorer, averaging about 12 points per game, just under that. And she had 2 in that first half. We're looking for a much better effort from her heading into the second half. She is 1 of 4 from the floor. Alicia Greaves has 5 points to lead her team for the Titans. 4 by Kayla Bennett, 3 from Megan Polchinski. They have 2 from Matthews, 2 from Lysick, and 2 from Tederick as well. Here's the scoring for the Grove City Wolverines. They're led by Laura Buchanan. Fantastic down low. 13 points, 5 of 9 from the floor, and also shooting a hot 100% 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. And then they have 7 points contributed from Jess Bowen, 6 from Kate Balcom, 6 from Mackenzie Black. Both those 6 points both coming from three-pointers, and then 4 from Allison Podkul, and then 4 from Jess Book as well. So as a coach, you've done it for, what'd you say, 25 years? 26. 26 years, and just a fantastic career at Geneva. You've always been a pleasure to deal with whenever we went and covered your squad. And I know that you're very passionate about the game. You love every bit of it. You're having a ton of fun here and your first broadcast with us here at the PAC Sports Network. But I love to ask you a lot of these coaching questions because I ask some of these to the guys and the gals that join me on the broadcast that don't have coaching experience. But what is said in the locker room that can spark a team either to keep that consistency and continue to win, or to kind of boost your squad when you're trailing at half? Well, I think there's a lot of different things that happen in the locker room at halftime. It could be as simple as making a few little adjustments here and there just to clean things up a little bit. I think Coach Scott is probably really focusing on trying to get Matthews going, trying to get Fromneck going. Those are 2 of their bigger scorers. It's not that both teams are playing really, really hard. Maybe taking care of the basketball a little bit more for Westminster. They have their 13 turnovers, and that's led to 17 points. Right. We always look at that points off of turnovers, and so basically they've given them 17 points, and the lead is 20. And I think Coach Foose is probably in there talking about things they need to clean up. Continuing on the pace that they're on, doing the things they're doing. They're pounding the ball inside really, really well to Buchanan. And so I think it's a little bit different every game. Ever go in with the same speech. Well, whenever you go, sure, absolutely. When you go into the locker room and your team is up by 20 points, you give them a
keep up the good work, you're doing a great job, or do you point out the things that they've done wrong and say, you know what, we should be up by 30?
Well, I think that partly depends on your coach's personality.
Right.
For me, we would go in and say, hey, here's what we really like. We like what we're doing with these things. Let's keep those things up. And then, we give the flip side of, hey, let's clean up these little things. Here's how they're really hurting us. Let's see if we can make this adjustment.
And I feel like the most disappointing thing to head into halftime is a team that's just not showing any effort. I feel like that would be the most frustrating, because if you're working really hard, as you mentioned, both these teams are, you just have one side being really dominant. They're making a lot of their shots. There's a lot of things you really can't control, some things you need to clean up. But, both these squads, you mentioned it, have done some really nice things here in this first half. And we'll keep talking about the first half and continue to preview the second half when we come back here on the PAC Sports Network.
Faith and freedom are far-reaching matters for us. The freedom to pursue a calling in life, and the faith that it will make a big difference. The freedom to use the value of an education to pay it forward, and a Christian faith to make it count. At Grove City College, faith and freedom create opportunities. And that's why faith and freedom matter.
You can't just wait for it. You have to go get it. You have to push yourself, because limits only begin when hustle stops. You have to work together, because you can't get there on your own. You'll have support, because you're more than just a name on a list. And then you'll get there. That's success. And I hope it's ready for me, because I'm ready for it.
I hear the claps in the background. That means that the Grove City Wolverines have come back onto the court. A pretty well-attended game here. We do have a student section on our far side, and the Grove City faithful sitting right in front of us here. This place has been loud, and rightfully so, considering the fact that Grove City is up by a score of 40-20. But right now, as we have a little bit of time, we'll touch on some of the other teams in the PAC here that are still in contention in the PAC tournament. You have St. Vincent at the very top, leading the PAC at 15-1 in the conference. They're 10-1 at home, 8-3 on the road, and they're currently on a 5-game win streak. They will be hosting the winner of Chatham and Teal, as Teal is getting the best of Chatham so far at half, 34-29. And then we'll have W&J take on the winner of this game. They're second best in the PAC, just 3 losses in the conference, 7 overall. They're 13-3 in the PAC. They are much better on the road than they are at home. 9-1 away record and 7-6 at home. Lauren Gilbert was a key loss for that team, but they've had a lot of other pieces really step up, and a lot of the freshmen coming in and playing well for the Presidents. We have Grove City playing tonight, 10-6 in the PAC, third best mark in the conference. And then they have Bethany right below them at 8-8, Chatham at 8-8, Westminster 6-10, Waynesburg finished up 6-10, Teal at 4-12, and then Geneva at 2-14 at the very end. So I did not mean to mention that, but just mentioning how this season kind of unfolded for the PAC. But for Geneva, really, we talked about it before this game. Your squad, what a really talented player you had in Callie Ford. She was just fantastic to watch, a senior, and I'm sure it's going to be special seeing her progress in her adulthood, but certainly fun to watch her as a player.
Yeah, she definitely had the ability to put the ball in the basket in a variety of different ways, and such a tough competitor. Probably hated to lose, probably more than any kid I had ever coached.
You got to love that tenacity, and one girl that has that mindset is Kate Balcom. She certainly does not like losing, and she's all focused all the time, and so far a little bit silent in this game, so Westminster has done a great job with that. Just 6 points by her standards. Doing okay, but the 5 steals is really what stood out to us.
Oh yeah, she hasn't scored a lot, but she's made her mark on this game.
And here we have her taking a shot as she's fading away, but it goes off the side of the iron, rebounded by Fromneck. And she needs to get things going. Does Emily Fromneck, just 2 points in that first half, but we do have a quick foul on the floor. The guilty party will be Jess Bowen, the first of this third quarter for Grove City.
Yeah, and we talked about her coming out of the break that she really needs to get going quick in this game if Westminster's going to have a chance.
Well, Bowen, that's her second foul. Greaves takes a shot from 3, nothing but net.
And that's exactly the kind of start that Westminster needed coming out of that halftime.
Reeves, step back three. Right on the money, and the team is down by 17 now. You can come back from this margin. Certainly not over. We have a whole half to play. As we have a deep two taken and made by Bowen, but it's hard to come back whenever you have another team that just can't seem to miss. 9 points for Bowen.
Well, I think we've got to really watch the three-point percentage of Westminster. If they get hot from the three, anything can happen in this game. And they were just 2 for 11 in that first half.
Polchinski thought about it, got it onto Matthews. Her three attempt, yes, as she's falling.
And she got her feet set. You knew that was going in from the time it released, from the time it left her hand.
5 points for Jackie Matthews, and when she's wide open, she's automatic. And now an answering three possibly for Grove City. No, it misses. Buchanan with the rebound, and there's a foul. So here's one thing that I do want to know. Westminster is leading the PAC in offensive rebounds, but defensive rebounds, they're second to last, the penultimate.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting how both teams are pretty opposite in those categories.
And Buchanan has a pretty decent bit of rebounds here in this game with 6. Team has 24. And only 13 rebounds for Westminster. So the rebounds and the defense really sparking the offense for Grove City in this game. On pace for about 80 points. Here's Bowen handing it off to Balcom. She works in, and Bennett just kind of denies her, but then we have a tie-up here. And the officials will...
I thought that really could have gone to a travel.
Right. See, that's why they're having a little bit of a conclave here towards the top of the dome. 42-26.
They do indeed call that a jump ball.
All right. Couple buckets made from both these teams. They do call it a jump ball, so it will stay with Westminster.
I as a coach, I don't know that I would have been happy with that call either.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing. Having a coach on is really nice, although we just don't want you to get too aggressive towards the officials. We know that sometimes happens. No, I'm just kidding. And that one is missed and rebounded by the Wolverines. As long as you don't pull a Bobby Knight and throw a chair onto the court, I'm fine with any coaches giving lip to any officials.
I'm pretty mild-mannered, so I think we're okay there.
Great. Bowen from three, perfect.
That's great ball movement again. Just seeing them swing the ball from side to side, finding the open shooter in the corner.
And now 5 points for Bowen here in the second half, and we have a travel called against Westminster, even though the ball was lost. But they must have seen it before that happened. And Balcom lost.
I think she shuffled her feet there a little bit.
Right. That's one call I see a lot in the PAC for both sides. A lot of traveling calls. I'm not sure if they crack down harder on that in years past compared to this year, but that's one thing I've seen a lot of.
Well, I think one thing that I see as a coach is the footwork and some of those things are kind of becoming a lost art. And so I think we're seeing more kids with turnovers.
That's an interesting take. I did not consider that as the ball has worked out of play. It will stay with Grove City. Yeah, I was talking about that with a lot of other people. Just, it just seems like I'm seeing a lot more travels, and that would make sense, And whenever you see a really talented player with great footwork, and it's noticeable. Here's Elsie, shot from three. Nowhere near home, and Balcom tried to save it. See, even that, when we're talking about Balcom, clearly it was going to work out of play. Probably not a chance in heck she was going to get to it, but she was able to hustle along and at least make an attempt. As a coach, you got to love that effort.
You've got to love that kind of effort from a kid. She really has one speed, and she plays all out all the time. And there's another steal for her.
Right, another steal.
And now she's turning the corner and getting to the rim.
And her layup,
and a foul.
No good, but she's fouled hard as good sportsmanship. Matthews and Polchinski go to help her up. So she will head to the line. And that's the one thing. I was actually, I talk with a lot of coaches. I like to pick their brains a lot. And I was talking to a male coach, and he was explaining to me on the men's side that if you're having some struggles, shooting the ball, and if you're a bigger guy, just take it to the hoop. More often than not, you're probably going to get fouled. So, especially if you're a little bit shorter in stature and you don't have the fear to take it in. And that's what you saw there. Balcom, she did have a little bit of space, but she knew she had two players on her for Westminster and was able to draw the foul. First one is made.
Yeah, and she was able to get a little bit ahead of the defender, so she was able to draw that foul even if she wasn't going to be able to finish it. Then we talk a lot, too, on the women's side about, hey, if you're struggling shooting, get yourself to the free throw line.
Right.
Helps you get a little bit more in rhythm.
Exactly. And talk about in rhythm. This free throw percentage for this team, fantastic tonight. 100% continuing as we have 2 makes there from Kate Balcom. She has 8 points. Coming in is Lysick. Her shot at the backboard, no good. Rebounded by Grove City, and there's Balcom
there she is again.
And a tie-up. And the ball gets thrown at the official. Please do not throw things at the official. It's frowned upon. She didn't mean it. I'm just kidding.
That tends not to go well for players when that happens.
Right. That was just a hustle play. Just all jokes, but they will go with Grove City because the possession arrow favored the Wolverines. We'll continue to talk about Balcom, 2-year letter winner. Earned honorable mention All-PAC in 2018. Career high of 24 points against Pitt Greensburg. Leads team in scoring and steals. She's also an academic wizard. COSIDA academic All-America candidate. As we have rolling in and missing the shot is Frederick, but she gets her own rebound, and we're going to say a tie-up, but it's going to go with Westminster. So you'd love to see that at the Division III level. You know, you have a lot of women and men that probably don't have a lot of aspirations making it up to the next level, as we have another tie-up. But you got to love when these men and women are just excelling academically, because that's their future, and really promising when you see someone like that doing very well in school.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, we talk about the Division III model being, a really well balanced. The students are really student athletes. They work hard at their game, but you see a lot of them working hard in the classroom.
And another foul against Grove City. That's on Balcom.
And we got this other great note from our wonderful producer over here that Balcom appeared on the show Shark Tank in high school.
Wow.
Where does he find these things?
He's the smartest man in the world. I'll tell you that. Here's Polchinski. Well, if not the smartest, probably the hardest working. I'll give him that for sure. Here's Polchinski. That shot's missed, and it's rebounded again. Another tie-up. And Balcom, she'll throw you to the ground. She doesn't care as long as she gets her hand on the ball. She's on full display tonight. And she's going up against Polchinski, who's been the Energizer Bunny for Westminster. 3 steals. She's been great defensively, has made a 3-pointer. Really having a silent but terrific game for the Titans. Yes, we have a handful of subs coming in for both sides.
And you see Westminster starting to come up with a little bit of pressure here to see if they can create some turnovers and cut into this, to the Grove City lead.
There's Grove City trying to break the press. They do. Work it up. Buchanan just lost the handle of it, and it's poked out of play by Polchinski. So fortunately for her, it will stay with the Wolverines. And right now we have another scoring update. Teal after 3, leading 53-46 against Chatham. And talk about Chatham. I mean, they can shoot the 3 ball. They beat a very good W&J team earlier in the year because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their guards, Chatham's guards are just really, really unbelievable.
Here we have yet another steal for Grove City. Bowen trying to work in, and they're going to say a foul against the Titans. So at the line again is Bowen, continuing to talk about this. They are perfect from the foul line. Grove City, we'll see if that continues. Bowen's first attempt, no good. So I might have jinxed them a little bit.
So that puts them at 9 for 10 on the night, which is still a really pretty good percentage.
So Bowen at the line leads her team in rebounding average, averaging about 6 rebounds per game. 2 misses, uncharacteristic there from Bowen, averaging about 70% from the free throw line. She does lead the team also in 3-point goals with 40. Second on the team in scoring, steals, and assists. As we have Bennett the other way going up, but she is fouled. And that's Stanforth with the foul. That's her second. Team third. So Kayla Bennett at the line. Kayla Bennett, her career high was against Teal earlier this year. She tallied 25. First shot is missed. Highest rebounding effort was 12 against Waynesburg also this year.
I think Bennett has done a really nice job this year. She's really come along, and she has the ability to post you up, but she can also face you up and shoot a 12, 15 footer really consistently. And her and from neck works so well together as a high-low combination on the offensive end of the floor.
And Bennett, she finished with 69 rebounds in 2016, 2017, and then 76 in 2017, 2018. So she really does use her size to her advantage. As quick foul the other way against Grove City. That's going to go against McConnell. So one away from the bonus. That's the fourth foul against the Wolverines. Or correction, that was against the Titans, rather. My mistake, against Polchinski. And now we have a double dribble going against Grove City. Stanforth just couldn't get it together.
She thought she had an entry pass and then lost it, and then tried to use that dribble to create one for herself.
Sakari works in, hands it on to Polchinski. Thought about a three, now works in. Her short-range shot made. A fine job there from Megan Polchinski. She has 5, and we have a foul again against Westminster. That's 5, and the bonus ensues.
In each quarter, we're seeing Grove City get to the line earlier and earlier. It's 4:50 to play in the third, and they're already at the line for 2.
Right, and that's Spieler, the guilty party. So at the line, shooting 2, and making the first will be McConnell, I believe it is. So that's the first points for Jordan McConnell.
I think McConnell's a little bit like Polchinski for Westminster in the sense of she runs the show. She knows who the ball needs to go to. She knows how to get them into their offense. She knows how to get it executed just like Coach Foose would want. And so she may not necessarily score a lot, but...
Well, she's a great facilitator. She had 13 assists against Waynesburg earlier this year. That's the highest ever assist total for a Grove City player in conference action. So that certainly helps. Lining up a three, taking the shot and missing it is Spieler. So that would have been a 3 ball that would have certainly helped this team, considering the fact they're still down by 20.
Right, and you're seeing their 3-point shooting woes continue.
Right, they had a lot of struggle in that first half. Balcom, her runner, yes, found the space and used it to her advantage. That's 10 points now for Kate Balcom. And the ball is worked out of play. They will say off the hands of a Wolverines. It will stay with the Titans. And the Titans, again, they had a really big win against a Waynesburg team that lost a lot of pieces from last year onto this year, but still really competitive. Andrea Olosky was one of the better players in the PAC, and they put up 88 points against the Jackets. Right now, they're sputtering on offense, just 29 points.
They are definitely struggling. We talked a little bit about the defense of Grove City, and really right now we're just seeing Grove City just making Westminster hurry on the offensive end. From Neck was down there, but too rushed on the pass. Another turnover.
And again, we have another sub for Grove City. It's Emery Ujano, seeing her first action tonight. Balcom with some fine ball handling, trying to work in. Almost got away there with the push.
I think she might have gotten away with a little bit of a push there.
A step back shot at the backboard counts, and she has 12. At least from my angle, it looked a little bit like a push. And we have a foul on the ground. And that's actually going against Westminster, and that's going to go against Spieler again. That's her second.
Wow, I thought that one was going to go against Balcom there for a minute.
That's what I thought as well. That's why I hesitated, but they're going to say another foul, and again, heading the line, the Wolverines only missing 2 as a team, both those coming from Bowen just a few moments ago. Balcom, her first attempt is true. Well, she is nominated for a PAC Defensive Player of the Year award, is Kate Balcom. If that makes sense.
There's definitely a reason why she is.
6 steals in the game for her. And 13 points. We'll see if she gets 14 as we have a little bit of a delay here from the sub as Spieler checks out for the Titans. Second attempt is also true. She takes her time at the line, which is, in my opinion, very important. And she has 14. I mean, there's so many different things that players do, both men and women at the line, that can sometimes be a routine that
everybody
kind of
has
settles them
their
down. They have their own thing.
Everybody has their own free throw routine.
Well, I don't know if you're a fan of the NBA at all, but DeAndre Jordan, who used to play for the Mavericks, now plays for the Knicks following a big trade. He actually talks to himself and to a player next to him before he takes a shot, religiously before every single one.
Is it one of his teammates he talks to?
I hope.
So do I.
I also hope he's not just kind of talking to a spirit or something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of his routine. But it's interesting to see how players go through these different routines at the line. Some players, they have to dribble the ball twice before they shoot it. Some players have to take a big, long-winded breath. Some players, their thing is not doing anything. Maybe, I don't know. Did you have one as a player?
I did have one as a player, and it was very very simple. Spin it, dribble it, gather myself, shoot it.
And you did that all the time?
All the time. I could still do it to this day.
I'm sure you're still shooting at like 100% from the line, right?
Not quite.
Wow, look at that move. Behind the back. McConnell hands it off. Stanforth down low. Campbell, and she's stopped by Fromneck. And Fromneck giving her the business.
Yeah, she looked like she had a little bit of something to say after that one. You've got to wonder if Westminster's beginning to get a little frustrated here. You know, Grove City's been to the line 14 times to their 2. It's not usually a discrepancy that you like to see as a coach.
Right. Stanforth to inbound, does so successfully. Here's McConnell. McConnell working in on Sakari, kicks it out. Open look, shot from Stanforth, nothing but net. 2 points for Lindsay Stanforth, the native out of Novelty, Ohio. Here's Greaves coming the other way, feeling the pressure but finding some space. Hands it on. Tederick, shot missed. Rebounded by Grove City, and it's McConnell. McConnell giving to Elsie on the right side, and a foul will go against Greaves. That's her second on my calculations. And again, another foul against the Titans, and again, free throw attempts for Grove City, and that's Gretchen Elsie, the sophomore out of Pulaski, PA. First shot buried.
Grove City shoots the ball so well at home, from the line and from the field.
And the second one is made as well. Gretchen Elsie has played in all 25 games, does have a season high of 11 points and 6 boards. And another tie-up. So this is when you know, at least in my opinion, whenever I watch basketball, that these teams aren't giving up. You know, you have a lot of effort when you have a lot of tie-ups because they're fighting for possession of the ball.
Oh, both teams are playing so hard. They're getting on the floor after almost every single loose ball, and it's both teams. It's not just one.
Polchinski to inbound, looking for somewhere to go, finds Bennett somehow. And Bennett will try to work in. Hands on up, Polchinski has some room. Her shot at the backboard, a little unconventional, but it works.
Don't often see them bank a 3 in.
8 points for Megan Polchinski. That's her second 3-ball made, trying to help her team in that department. They struggled mightily in the first half, only making 2. Underneath and blocked away is Book. Give credit to Bennett reaching over the back, and no foul, but just got all ball. Here's Stanforth to inbound. 59-32, big advantage for Grove City, a team that doesn't wow you with their scoring, wows you more with their defense, but both fantastic today as Ujano tries to work it in. And looking for Book, but the 5'11 Book couldn't get up to grab that one.
Had the right idea, just put it a little bit too high for her.
So a big lead for Grove City. At one point, Westminster did lead this game by 2 points. That was very early on. And at one point in this game, a 30-point advantage for Grove City. And we have a couple subs coming in as Cass Book will check in. And her sister, Jess Book will take a seat.
The older sister comes in for the younger sister.
See, as a person who didn't play basketball and having older brothers, I feel like if you were close in age and playing basketball, I heard those competitions were very competitive and would always end in some bloody aftermath. I couldn't imagine doing that and playing on the same team and having that competitive spirit.
I can't either, but these two played together in high school and
Right.
were pretty successful, and Jess followed Cass here.
And Sakari, the guilty party. That's the fourth foul against her. And again, at the line, Grove City, I feel like I'm just repeating myself. As the shot is made by Elsie. Elsie is third on the team in threes with 17. Currently at the line. Her point total today is 3 with that bucket made. Second one missed. Here's Bennett with it, trying to find some room, and we have a foul. Will go against Elsie.
And you see Grove City continuing to come with that pressure. Sometimes trapping in the front court, sometimes trapping in the back court, really creating problems for Westminster.
So 28-point lead for the Wolverines as a little over a minute to play here in the third quarter. Relatively slow third quarter. Polchinski looking for Bennett, and it's poked away by Cass Book. Fantastic awareness there from Book to turn around and find that ball and just kind of nudge it away. So another steal, again, for the Wolverines. It just doesn't seem like Westminster has anywhere to go with the ball. All the lanes are closed.
I think we're just really seeing an example of how Grove City just they play hard, they move fast, they really anticipate well. You know, they make their defensive rotations.
We had a bucket made there from Cass Book, her first for the senior. And Kimbrell will get the foul against her, her first. And now in the bonus, both these teams. So at the line is Greaves. Her first attempt is true, but barely. So for Greaves, shooting about 80% from the free throw line this year. Second attempt is made as well. She's having a pretty impressive game so far with 10 points. Here's Mackenzie Black, hands it on to Elsie. And now Kimbrell. Back out to Black. About 1 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
So I think we're going to see Grove City hold for the last shot easily here. Give them time to get the offensive rebound if they can.
Right.
If not have too much time for Westminster to score.
Here's Matthews with a second left. Her prayer, and that one just misses to the left. So that's the end of the third quarter. Grove City 62, Westminster 34 on the PAC Sports Network.
The biggest thing with Consolidated is their customer service. They treat you like a preferred client, even if you're just starting with them.
They've truly taken the time to understand who we are as a business and recommend the best product and services based upon that knowledge of who we are.
Being able to rely on a technology partner like CCI to provide the fiber backbone means that our internet signal is completely reliable. I can't recommend any other parties. Consolidated is my first choice.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
An old-fashioned beatdown here at Grove City as the Wolverines really taking control over the Titans, but game is still not over yet. Never say never. But the Titans have a lot of work to do as they have 10 minutes remaining in this game with the season on the line. And we do want to give you another scoring update between Teal and Chatham. Teal 64, Chatham Cougars 58. The winner of that game will play St. Vincent. The winner of this game will play the formidable W&J Presidents. But in the game, and we looked at statistics, Destiny Johnson for Teal has 14, and Jess Vormelker, the second best point getter in the PAC, right behind Callie Ford of Geneva, only has 7 points. And the Six Sisters only totaling 8 together. So the scores for both these teams not on display, but really close, and we'll keep you updated on that as Chatham pulls it within 3 now. But back to this action as the deep 3 ball was taken by Bowen and missed. Bounced around, and Balcom almost got the rebound on the taller Fromneck, but it goes off her hands and out of play. So the Titans will have it. (62-34). Bennett gets the pass as the Titans have a lot of work to do to get themselves back in this game. Russell trying to work in. Her floater misses everything. Rebounded by Bowen. And Russell does have a lot of scoring potential. She just had a few misses in this game, and it seems like that's kind of been the trend with her team.
You know, from the beginning, Westminster's really struggled to get things going offensively.
And a hard foul is crashing hard as Balcom, and that one will go against Bennett. That now is her 3rd foul.
And you've really got to think that Westminster has to really pick up the pace on the offensive end of the floor to even begin to cut into this lead.
Grove City to inbound. Here's Podkol trying to go somewhere, and a foul will go against Westminster, and that's Speiler.
Westminster foul number 13, Casey Speiler, for 3rd, team 2nd.
So again, Grove City drawing a lot of fouls and committing a lot of fouls. Westminster, 2 quick ones. That's not going to help your cause at all. As a deep 3 is taken from Balcom, that one's missed, and we have another foul underneath, and it's against Westminster yet again.
Wow, 3 quick ones to start the quarter.
Westminster foul number 12, Aaliyah Gage.
And that one's on Aaliyah Gage. That's her 2nd. So here's Black, lines up a 3, missed, rebounded by Buchanan. Black has a lot of room still, and Vance wanted her to take another 3, but she thinks better of it. And shot just past that elbow is missed. And that one was taken by Allison Podkol.
You know, we've been talking that Grove City doesn't necessarily score a lot of points, but part of the reason why is they're very deliberate on the offensive end of the floor. They don't necessarily shoot the ball really quick. They're pretty deliberate. They execute, you know, their options and look at everything before they score.
Here's Gage. Her first attempt at the line is made. And we have a timeout taken by Grove City, which means we'll step aside. Got to pay more bills here on the PAC Sports Network.
Don't forget fans tomorrow night here in
Grove City 62, Westminster 35. This one, we do have to mention a rivalry. Only 14 miles separates these two teams. However, not a really competitive bout between the two as Gage nails her 2nd shot. She has 2 points.
And that's really only the 6th free throw attempt tonight for them.
Keep in mind, the first time these two teams met, Westminster won pretty handily over Grove City, and then Grove City won the 2nd meeting as Balcom, her 3-pointer is missed, rebounded by Bennett.
If Balcom has one weakness in her game, it's that 3-point shot. She's much better putting the ball on the floor and getting inside and getting to the rim than she is from the outside.
And I'm sure she works on that shot all the time, and if she continues to do that, especially in the offseason, and if she can get that down,
oh, yeah.
I can't imagine.
She's going to be very, very dangerous next year if she adds that to her repertoire.
So Grove City is just trying to settle it down now. as Buchanan works in and is blocked away by Bennett, and that's the one thing that the Titans have done really well today. They have had a few blocks go in their favor and a few for Kayla Bennett.
Buchanan has 13, but I think all those were in the first half. She's yet to score in this half.
Here we have a shot. That one wasn't too deep, an open look, but missed by Podko in a tie-up. And again, the winner of this one will take on W&J. Right now, it looks like that would be Grove City, barring anything super crazy, as we are just about to hit 7 minutes left in the game, and this one's worked out of play. It will stay with the Titans. And again, I want to talk about that W&J team. I mean, they're led by Danielle Parker, just a fantastic threat down low. Maybe won't impress you all that much with her athleticism, but she's always at the right spot at the right time, and she can shoot the 3-ball too.
Yeah, both their post players are really well coached. They have great footwork. Cito is their other one, and they both can shoot the 3. They both post really well. They also work that high-low game really well with those two kids, and they've done a really nice job picking up the slack since Gilbert got hurt.
Buchanan with that make, she has 15, and here's her first points now in the second half. And you're right, W&J, I mean, the freshmen that they have, the interchanging parts, they've done a fine job despite that adversity in and out here for the Titans. And again, they can't buy a bucket here. They really are struggling on both ends.
Yeah, and they've had some really good looks here.
And it's not like they're bad shots. They're just going in and out or just can't seem to fall. Step back 3 from Black misses.
Yeah, Paczynski had an easy look inside the lane right around the restricted area, in and out.
Sometimes the fortunes don't work in your favor as Bowen hands it on to Podkol. Down low, Buchanan. Yes, why not? Add to her total. And she has a very impressive 17 points in this game.
Oh.
And a travel goes against Fromnet.
I almost went into coach mode there on that one. Saw that travel, didn't think they were going to call that.
That's okay. Hey, we fully embrace that. That's why you're here. I can't add that. I do have to say, you're doing a fabulous job on this game.
Well, thank you. It's really fun to be here, and it's fun to be with you guys.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And our producer, Randy Gore, doing a fine job as always, and Emily Sechrist, who goes to Westminster, probably not liking the score too much. She's on the camera doing a great job as well. And that one probably could have been a 60-yard field goal made there from that. A heavy kick.
But you really gotta admire the way that Westminster is still playing. They're playing hard. They're still going after every loose ball. They're trying to create turnovers. And they've really had a fantastic season. You know, they lost in the very first round last year. This year they won that game, made it this round. They've just run into
they have a lot to look forward to.
Oh,
sure.
They definitely do. They just ran into a really well-balanced Grove City team this evening.
Right, and now it just kind of seems like things are falling apart. They're probably a little bit frustrated, down by 30 here with just about 5 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the game. For Grove City, as we mentioned last year, they did have some success. They won in the first round, or the quarterfinals rather. They lost in the semifinals to Thomas More. And Thomas More, again, a little bit, not to talk about them too much at all. We're moved past them, but you played them this year. Geneva did, and definitely a different look in the tournament with them out of it. So now it makes it a little bit more competitive here in the PAC. And both these teams now, Westminster, Grove City, pretty much any team in the PAC, you know, it's really been fun watching them this season and heading into tournament play. And it's interesting to see how dominant now St. Vincent has taken over. We always know they were that, 2, 3, 4 team in the PAC, but a whole nother level for them. A whole nother level.
Yeah, Jimmy's done such a great job there. He's got a nice cast of players. They have a great inside game. They have some great shooters. They're really, really good defensively, and so I think really with the departure of Thomas More, you're seeing a much more competitive, balanced league. Even though St. Vincent is 13-1, W&J beat them at St. Vincent. And they've had some other close games. And really, you've seen that parity through the rest of the conference.
Right. And it really, I mean, that's where you saw Teal take down W&J as well earlier in the year. I mean, it's really anybody's game if the teams can play the way that they want to play.
Right. And you're seeing Teal even as an 8th seed in the tournament. You know, they're in this quarterfinal game, and with about 30 seconds to go, they're leading Chatham, who finished 4th.
Right, 72-68 they're leading. And we have a foul against Grove City, so heading the line and attempting 2 shots is Fromneck, just a junior. So the best scorer on this team in terms of points per game, just about 12 points per game for Fromneck. And she's shooting about 74%. Just a junior, so she will be with the squad next year. First bucket is missed. So that's certainly promising for the Titans. They get one of their better players back. Emily Fromneck from Erie, PA, attended McDowell High School. If you're familiar with the Steelers, James Conner attended McDowell High School as well. Some of the important names to come from there.
I think with Bennett and Fromneck coming back, Westminster is going to be in a really, really great position. I mean, they'll miss Matthews as their shooter, but they'll find some other pieces. But to have your inside duo back is going to be really huge for them.
And here's a block from Fromneck. They're going to say it was off her, it'll stay. But with that block, I do want to point this out. Fromneck totaled 7 blocks in a game against Waynesburg, against Waynesburg a couple years ago. And then she did it again a couple years later, tallying 7 blocks. And with those 7 blocks, she surpassed, she broke the Westminster career blocks record that was set back in 2001. So she leads the team all time and this year with blocks, and she did that with 7 blocks, both her career highs against Waynesburg, and one of them coming earlier this year. And here she is from 3, and that one is missed. But Fromneck, we know how good she is. We know she can shoot the ball. We know she can work in down low, but her defensive play is certainly underrated part of her game.
Well, definitely. She's tall and she's got some length on her, and so that really disrupts shooters and gives her the ability to block shots.
And back in 2016-17, she was 8th in the PAC in rebounds per game with 7.6, and 7th in blocks with 32 to finish the year. And that was in her freshman campaign. She really is a wonderful talent for the Titans as the shot clock is down to 5.
She's been a great addition for them.
And they need to get a shot off, does Grove City. At the shot clock buzzer, Stanford sends it up and sends it home.
And that's when you know everything's going right for you.
Stanford with 4 points, but that's luck. That is absolute luck. Well, we'll give Stanford the credit. That was a wonderful shot. But at that point, when you're getting shots off at the buzzer
and knocking them down,
right? I mean, at that point, you're everything seems to be going in your favor. And Westminster really struggling on offense. And again, we got to keep mentioning it, not because of bad chances or bad shots. A lot of bad luck and great defense by Grove City.
Yeah, again, we've talked about that all game long. Just the defensive intensity and different schemes that they run. Mixing it up from 1-2 press or 1-2-1-1 press to trapping in the front court. So they just keep you off balance the entire game.
So at the end of last year, Fromneck had a total of 81 blocks and very close to 100 now. And his team, Coach Roseanne Scott has done a really great job over the years with this team. Coach Roseanne Scott has a great history with a lot of the coaches in the PAC, including Gina DeRubo, who she played under. Gina DeRubo, of course, the longtime head coach for the W&J Presidents, along with Bethany. And the winner of this game gets to go against the Presidents and Coach DeRubo. So now under 3 minutes to play, the Titans moving the ball around. There's Monahan, her shot missed. And we have a foul going against the Titans. Or do we have a foul? We do. That's on Monahan. So as a coach now, you have Coach Sampson, who came in for Bethany in his 3rd season. He was singing your praises and the praises of a lot of other coaches in the PAC. He said he felt so welcome. And he said that it's really a kind of a tight-knit group with the coaches on the women's side, and how much camaraderie there is and how much respect there is between all the coaches.
Yeah, there really is. We really have a great conference in terms of, all of our coaches get along. We have a lot of respect for each other. We all know that we work really hard, and there's a lot of longevity, too, with coaches in our conference.
And we have another stoppage and yet another foul. Well, Shelly Foose is in her 6th season as Grove City's head coach.
And she was an assistant here for several years before that.
It says 7 right here on my sheet. So there we go. You read my mind. We only worked together once, but we've already had great chemistry. Roseanne Scott is in her 17th season as Westminster's head coach.
When she came into the league, she was the youngest head coach in America.
Wow.
I think she was 24, 25.
That's crazy. And she's done a fabulous job as we have a 3-ball made by Megan Meyer. That's an interesting note. You need to stick around. I'm serious.
I read the notes that our producer sent me.
Oh. I'll still give you the credit. Randy can't get all of that. So under 2 minutes to play, and we do a final here. Teal, an upset over Chatham, 75-70. So congratulations to the Comcats. And your reward is playing the best team in the PAC, the St. Vincent Bearcats, at St. Vincent. So the next game for Grove City, since they will more than likely win this game, will be at St. Vincent against W&J. That's where the semifinals are held, where the top team in the PAC. So that's where that game between Teal and St. Vincent will be held, obviously, at St. Vincent as well.
A much shorter trip than what we're used to taking down to Thomas More to play that Final Four.
Right. 5-hour bus ride turns into an hour. And we have another foul, and now the officials conversing, and they're going to say offensive foul, and Grove City, despite the lead being greatly in their favor, the bench in particular, still really passionate and happy, showing their enthusiasm.
I'm a little surprised by that call. I thought that she might have been in that restricted area, and anything in that restricted area is an automatic block.
Right.
But we also don't have the view that the officials do.
True. There's a reason why we're not wearing the stripes. Ujano down low to Cass Book. On her way up, she's fouled, so the fouling continues. Why not? So Cass Book, the senior, standing in at 5'11". 3-year letter winner. Played in 12 games, started in 1. And that was during senior night. Her season high is 4 points. Her first attempt is made. She has 3 points, and if she makes the second, she will tie her season high of 4. We'll see if that comes to fruition, and it does. So 4 points for Cass Book. Congratulations to her for hitting her, or tying her season high. And Speiler working to her left, handing it on, and now trying to move up and fouled. That was Haley Moore who was fouled. Frederick, the one who committed the foul, so at the line is Moore. First attempt missed. Haley Moore from Greensburg, PA, attended Greensburg Central Catholic High School. And the second shot is missed. Moore is a neuroscience major. Has an older sister that plays volleyball at Westminster. Give her a lot of credit. I don't think I could be a neuroscience major. And that one's missed. I'll stick to talking. That's more up my alley. Grove City now just trying to take as much clock off as possible, or maybe get up a shot. Why not? And if you have the players to do so, make it count. Lauren Frederick, her first points.
And Coach Foose is getting some of her younger kids some tournament experience, which I think is going to be absolutely invaluable.
And another foul.
Because she has some really good young kids on her bench.
Yeah.
As does Westminster.
Right, absolutely. Future is bright for both these teams. And the shot is made by Speiler. And one other note that I do have about Haley Moore. In high school, she played lacrosse. She also ran track and field. She played softball and volleyball.
She did just about everything.
How do you do?
Wow. She was one busy
So she's
kid.
incredibly smart, a National Honor Society member in high school, and now
And a pretty good
neuroscience
athlete.
major and a very good athlete. Right. So, yeah. Congratulations. Multi-talented for sure. So now Grove City, shot clock at 13, game clock at about 20. And that runner is through there for Kimbrell. She adds to the point total for Grove City. They have 76. Westminster has 40. So a whopping lead for the Grove City Wolverines. Leading scorers so far for the Wolverines and the Titans. Buchanan has 17. Balcom has 14. Bowen has 12. Below that is Mackenzie Black, who has 6. And Alicia Greaves leading her team in double digits. The only one in double digits with 10. And Polchinski has 8. So time is winding down here in the game, and that's about all she wrote from Grove City. So Grove City wins in impressive fashion here at home. They have a fantastic home record, which continues now. They advance to 16-10 overall, and they will take on the W&J Presidents at St. Vincent later on, and they continue their PAC championship chase. As for the Westminster Titans, their season comes to an end. They fall to 9-18. We'll come back to name our Foster Law Office Player of the Game and talk about this contest and much more here on the PAC Sports Network.
Teal College, a creative, energetic place that's rooted in academic excellence, innovation, and tradition, where motivated students become motivated graduates, where so much is so close. Teal College. That's where. Teal College, an energetic place focused on your academic and personal success, where so much is so close.
Teal College is now enrolling for its new sports management, exercise science, and health systems programs, and more. For more details, visit teal.edu.
When you step through that door or shake their hands, will you be prepared? When you stand up for a client or walk into that meeting, will you be ready? Ready to prove to them that you deserve to be there?
When you come to Washington and Jefferson, you will be.
Washington and Jefferson College. Are you ready?
Begins here on a beautiful campus in southwestern Pennsylvania. At Waynesburg University, students become leaders in education, in business, in government, and science. They learn to tackle real-world issues with innovation and purpose, and are prepared for these roles within a community that fosters spiritual growth. Waynesburg University, a tradition of faith since 1849.
Well, you see them all as a broadcast. And now we're back here on the PAC Sports Network. Grove City coming away victorious, 76-40. We're just talking about it. If you may have caught the end of that conversation, we were not expecting this to be the score between these two teams, considering they split the season series. Maybe expect a little bit more from Westminster, but you got to give a lot of credit to Grove City defensively. A handful of steals. You had 6 from Balcom, maybe more at this point. They had a handful of blocks, and that great defensive play really sparked their offense, and altogether just an impressive win. But you do have to say congratulations to Westminster on a fine season.
Oh, yeah, they've absolutely had a great season. You know, they improved over last year. They improved their standing. They won that first-round playoff game. And so, you know, hats off to what they've done this year. I think Coach Scott does just a fabulous job there.
So we'll look at some of the scoring totals for Westminster, just tallying about 29%. Well, 30%, I'll round up. From the floor, about 33% from three-point, and about 43% from the foul line. And they got out-rebounded by Grove City 52-28. 28. And the Wolverines 39% from the floor, about 24% from three, and then a very impressive 80% from the line. So Grove City was able to make their shots. They're also great defensively, and the rebounds really went in their favor. And the leading point getter for Grove City is Laura Buchanan with 17, followed by Kate Malcolm with 14, and Jess Bowen from 12. And Coach Wynn, would you like to name our Foster Lobs player of the game?
Well, I think it's Laura Buchanan. She was the difference maker for them inside today. You know, she had 13 of those in the first half when they were, building that lead. She shot 7 of 12 from the floor, so she really had a great evening.
Well, that's about all she wrote here from Grove City. The Wolverines 76, Westminster 40. And Coach Wynn, I do have to ask you this right before we leave. How was it the first time?
Oh, it was really fun. It's such a different perspective sitting up here watching the game. You know, you see a few things that you don't necessarily see on video, but very, very much enjoyable experience.
Well, we certainly we're glad you were able to come on board. You did a great job. We hope for much more. And we want to thank our producer, Randy Gore, and our camera op, Emily Seacrest, as well. No relation to Ryan Seacrest, but that would be cool if it was. No, I'm just kidding. She's giving me an evil look now. But that's about all she wrote here from the PAC Sports Network. Continue to follow us here as the tournament continues. We'll be at St. Vincent as the women's and men's action comes close to an end. But we will have this game, a men's game here at Grove City, right, Randy? We do. So that will be the next game, and then after that, we'll be going on from there, barring anything super crazy. But that's, from our standpoint, that's what's going to happen. So I'll stop mumbling now and say goodbye. 76-40, great win for Grove City at home. They advance to take on the W&J Presidents at St. Vincent later on this week. Thank you for joining us.